Okay, folks, today we're going to make some chicken sandwiches with coleslaw. So what we have is some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, King's Hawaiian rolls because they will be our bread, coleslaw because it will be on our sandwich and the side, and then we have the things to season it all up. I have some chicken rub, some Kinder's buttery garlic, and some Kinder's blend, which has salt, pepper, and garlic, some barbecue sauce, some rice wine vinegar, and some mayonnaise. I also have this dill pickle aioli because I don't believe that I have enough mayonnaise. So give me a second. We're gonna wash the chicken off and we'll be right back. All right, so now that our chicken is cleaned and mostly dry, I'm gonna start seasoning it up. I'm gonna start with my David seasoning. I always peek to see where salt is, if at all. And so this particular seasoning doesn't have really any salt. It says no salt right there if I read. And so I can use as much of that as I like for my chicken breast because it's not salt, it's just different seasonings. Then the Kinder's garlic and herb, which is my current fave. I'm going to put a bit of that on. Now I know the salt in here is probably the first ingredient, so I'm not going to use as much of it, but I do just want to get it on there for the taste. And then I'm going to use just a splash of this because it's supposed to also have a little garlic. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, and so then I'm just going to make sure I would mix, but I don't feel like getting my hands dirty again. So mix your seasonings in with your hands or however you get them in, and then we'll come back and put them on the pan, okay? All right, so here are our chicken breasts. They're ready to go into the oven. They will bake at 350 convection for about 25 minutes. If you don't have a convection oven, you want to bake them at about 375 for about 20-25 minutes, okay? Just want to make sure that they're completely done. Be right back. All right, so now we're going to make our coleslaw. So I'm doing 2 bags of coleslaw just because my husband, he doesn't do the bread, so he'll eat probably a bag and some chicken by himself. Just gonna rip this bag of coleslaw right on open. And we're actually using it for coleslaw, not me being lazy for cabbage this week. So we're gonna dump that bag in. Oh, this is a lot more than I thought it would be. Okay, I'm going to get a bigger bowl. Please hold. All right, so I moved the coleslaw to another bag. I ended up using about 1.5 bags, which looks like it will definitely be enough. And so what you're gonna want on your coleslaw is, of course, the dressing, which includes mayonnaise and rice vinegar. So I'm going to, or I'm not really sure if you can use another vinegar, but however you like your coleslaw, do it that way. And I am going to empty out this big old bucket of emptiness called I think that's all the mayonnaise that we have for today. And so I'm going to go on and add a little of the dill pickle aioli, which is very good and gives it a little bit of flavor that I wouldn't normally have. And so to this amount, I would probably add anywhere from 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup. I always laugh when I'm doing this because my grandmother was very much like, don't over season things. That's not classy. Light dressing on salad was a big thing for her when she was cooking for us. And so, and for the rice wine vinegar, just a splash because you want the sweet, and I prefer my coleslaw sweet and tangy. So for the sweet, I'm also going to add a little bit of sugar. This is 1/3 cup, and I only use about 1/12 cup there. And I'll taste it along the way to see how it is. And I wanted to add some dill because I did use the dill pickle aioli. So let's make this a dilly. If you don't like dill, you can use pepper or whatever it is that you do prefer. And then you're just going to Spread your coleslaw around, making sure that every bit of coleslaw touches the dressing. Okay? So I'm gonna continue to stir this while you stir yours, and then I will be back. All right, so this is my coleslaw. It's well dressed. It's not overly dressed. It's not dripping, and it tastes wonderful. The dill and the sugar, I use about a half a cup between the mayonnaise and the dill, maybe a little more, and about, I'd say about an eighth of a cup of sugar, just to get the tang out of it. And you saw the vinegar I used. I didn't use any more vinegar, but it tastes great. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our buns toasted so that when our chicken comes out, we'll be ready to go. All right, be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna toast the buns. I've decided not to add butter or anything to the buns. These are King's Hawaiian, they're nothing but butter anyway. And we just have enough fat already in this meal. So I've already sliced the buns in half. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to toast the inside of the bun and maybe the outside, depending on what goes down. So there you go. You can put it in any pan that you have and toast it the same way, or depending on how much you're eating of it. Like if you're eating a bread size slice, you can actually put in the toaster. So I'm going to do this, and in the meantime, at the halfway point, I'm going to the stove to baste our chicken with barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna sauce both sides very well to let it cook for the last, maybe not half, maybe like for the last 10 minutes, okay? So when your chicken is cooked for about 15 minutes, which ours has, you just can baste it with barbecue sauce, whatever you want. Or if you don't want sauce, no sauce, but barbecue sauce is what I'm using. All right, so we are finished. We have coleslaw left over for the husband and anyone who wants it. And here are our sandwiches. Now, with these sandwiches, I must admit, I burnt this bread so bad doing something else. But all I did was, like old school, get that knife and scrape off the burn because we don't have bread to waste. And so we have our King's Hawaiian rolls, little extra sauce on the bread, some chicken, and finally the top. And so all I have to do now is say, ladies, let's eat. Dad's plate and kids' plate and all the other things.